Hey, what's going on, y'all? Another episode of Saturday Secrets. So this week I was sitting and trying to put together what our topic would be about. And I found myself a little bit afraid, a little bit worried about whether I was going to have the right topic or whether I was going to say the right things or teach the right information. And then it hit me. Let's talk about fear. Let's talk about fear of failure, fear of not succeeding, fear of what other people think about you, whether they like your product, they like your personality, and how we can overcome those things. Hey, what's going on? So, as I was saying earlier, we all have fears. We all have some sort of fear, whether it's fear of heights, fear of the dark, fear of failing, fear of letting people down. Everybody's got some sort of fear. Whether you admit it or not is really what the question is. And, years ago, I figured out that one of my biggest fears was fear of failure. I was afraid that I was going to let down the people I cared about, not just in my professional life, but in my personal life as well. When I was a young adult, when I was a young man, I was getting out of the military, and I figured out quickly that there was a lot of things that I just didn't understand. And a lot of things I was trying that were brand new that just didn't make sense in my head. And I figured I'd figure them out as I went. And what I started to realize was that I was afraid. I was afraid of not doing it correctly, not doing it right, not doing it to 100%, getting beat by somebody, letting people down, not making enough money, not being good enough, not being talented enough, not being professional enough. I was afraid of all those different things. And a lot of times it held me back. That fear prevented me from taking risks, from taking chances. It prevented me from going out and investing in stocks because I didn't know anything about it. It prevented me from starting my first business until years later. It prevented me from talking to a girl. It prevented me from hanging out with my friends, different things, right? So once I realized that those fears were real and that those fears weren't going to go away, the only thing that's going to happen is how I dealt with them. And somebody told me years ago, fear is fake. It's a fake emotion. It's designed to make you not want to do something. Fear is it's different for everybody, right? It's not real. It's just you subconsciously making an excuse in your head of why you can't do something, why you shouldn't do something, right? How many times have you told yourself before you ever started a project, before you started a business, before you invested, before you did something that you were immediately going to not do well, right? So you convinced yourself, I'm not going to do well, so I probably shouldn't do it at all. Yeah, I'm just not going to do it. Yeah, somebody else would do it. It's not worth it. Oh, I'm not going to make enough money. Oh, she's going to say no. Well, the business is going to fail. Nobody wants to buy that, right? So you come up with all these different reasons in your head before you even take your first step. And it's those fears, those excuses that prevent you from getting to that next level. Find a way to overcome those, okay? And a story comes to mind. When I was a kid, I think I was in middle school, and back then, we used to go to a public pool. You see, I grew up in a really poor neighborhood. And so we could spend $1 and we could go swim at the public pool all day long. It was a cheap way for my mom to hire a babysitter. Here's $1 to get in. Here's $1 for a soda. Go hang out at the pool all day. And I remember when I first got there, I knew how to swim. That was easy. I had done that years ago. But I had never jumped off a high dive. And my friends kept telling me, let's go do the high dive. Let's go do the high dive, right? We do cannonballs or jump in or whatever it may be. And if you've never been on a high dive, it's pretty good, pretty high up there, especially for a middle schooler. So I went up on this high dive. All my friends were going. And then it was my turn. So you walk out there, now you're standing on the edge and you're looking over and you're trying to get up the courage to jump in, right? And so in your head, you're like, it's gonna hurt. It's too high. Oh, I'm gonna belly flop, right? You start convincing yourself of all the things that are gonna go wrong. And then it makes it harder and harder for you to make the decision to jump. But do you remember the first time you jumped? Right? You jumped off. You got in the water, you splashed. You got out, and you're like, damn, that was fun. It was easy. And then you ran right back over to the high dive, and guess what happened? You just jumped right in. Right? So that first jump is what held you back from going in and continuing to do it over and over again. But once you got past that first jump, it all became easy, right? It all became something that you just did over and over and over again. So now every single day we went to the pool. Every single day we're all lined up on the high dive and we're just diving in. We're cannonball, we're jump, right? So treat those fears like it's a high dive and just take the first step and jump. All right, well, that's it for now. Till next time.